flag is? Is that Metro? Yeah, that's a bunch of Metro officers. Uh-oh. Crowd looks like it's dispersing a little bit. We've seen a few people running. Can't pinpoint exactly what the cause of the commotion is. Yeah, Jackie. So we've been following them from the beginning where they originated from Container Park, but the latest is now the group has taken a turn heading north on Casino Center Boulevard. So they were heading west along Lewis Avenue, right towards the Clark County Detention Center. But it looks like they ran into a bit of a police block there around the detention center area. In fact, we saw a bunch of people lined up in front of what looked like a line of Metro officers. That's where you see those police lights there, Jose. Not sure if we can zoom in a little bit and give people some perspective here. But this is where we've seen so many of these tense standoffs between police and protesters around the country and here in Las Vegas. Similar situations where the police are lined up and standing their ground and the protesters are not far away from them. As you can see, hundreds of protesters. And we did see some people disperse at one point and take off running, but we couldn't really pinpoint exactly what the cause of that commotion was. And it seems like everyone has calmed down since then. But this is starting to line up to be one of those tense situations where the police are now face-to-face with those protesters right there on Casino Center Boulevard. And it seems like they have stopped right there in the general area of the detention center. So we're going to continue to follow this. But again, we've seen a couple stops along the way. This group now appears to be on the move once again, heading north on Casino Center Boulevard. This would be heading back towards Fremont Street. We're going to continue to keep the eyes on them from here in the sky in Chopper 13. Yeah, Jackie, we have definitely seen Metro officers blocking off certain streets. And Jose, we just had that shot a little bit to the right there of that police line of Metro officers. Now we're giving you the close-up where the protesters are now in very close quarters with those Metro officers there. But we have definitely seen Metro blocking off certain streets and kind of guiding this a little bit, but by no means are they leading these protesters on any specific route. They've just picked certain areas where they are blocking off, and one of those appears to be the detention center there, and that's where a large number of those protesters have now gathered face-to-face with those Metro officers. They're heading west on Bridger now, but I'm also getting reports from one of our reporters, Kalina Estrinos, who's on the ground, saying she's seeing groups of protesters actually yelling into the faces of Metro police officers, which we've seen that's a bad recipe, in other cities, and also when we saw those close standoffs in Las Vegas last night. Hopefully they maintain the peace there. But you see this group here, the front of this protest is now moving west on, what is that, Jose, Bridger Street? Bridger and First. You see the Golden Nugget entrance right there. One of those streets that's blocked off. They didn't turn onto First, did they, Jose? They're still on Bridger. And what's that street they're heading towards? Main Street? Yep. Did the group just turn around? They're turning back. And that's another thing is that they have not closed down traffic in that area. We've seen cars trying to navigate through this group of protesters and not having much success, as you can imagine, with just the sheer number of people that are on the streets right now. There's one of those, blocked off intersections. You see Metro has blocked off two sides, really leaving protesters only one way to go. And that's what I meant when I was telling you about how they've kind of guided this protest a little bit, although not entirely. This group is moving on their own, but certain streets are absolutely blocked off right now by Metro. Is this Bridger, Jose? Okay. The group continuing to move down Bridger. You see the intersection with First Street there and the Golden Nugget. And they're heading towards Bridger and Main Street. Bridger and Main Street. Jose, it looks like they've turned south, heading south now on Main Street. They've turned onto Main Street. All right, we've been given clearance to go fuel up whenever you would like to go. Again, these protesters are now heading south down Main Street, but we are getting close to low on fuel, so we're going to have to fuel up here in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, Jackie, we're starting to see this group reform, actually. We were seeing them splinter a little bit, but we've now seen the group turn and head south on Main Street. They couldn't continue to walk there along Bridger Street, so they're now turning and heading south. But we've seen this group kind of break up and then come back together. But overall, just so many people now keeping that shape, and the overall group is now heading south on Main Street. And on their left is eventually going to be the city of Las Vegas's government building. And not sure if that's the end destination. There would obviously be some symbolism there, but they are continuing now to head south as a group. But look at the size of that. We've only seen this grow over the past hour and a half, and as they picked up more protesters, and now they seem to be moving as one, heading south along Main Street. We're wrapping our covers now. Lewis and Main is where they're at now, continuing to head south on Main Street. Okay, we're clear. All right, everybody who's watching on Facebook, we have to go and refuel, but if this protest is still going on, once we get fueled up again, we will be back in the skies to give you this vantage point continuing through the night. But stay with us here on Channel 13.
Well, that was it from Channel 13. So, let me see what's going on over here. Yeah, that was it from Channel 13. Gonna try to catch other footage somewhere else. I got some volume going on. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to catch some footage from somewhere else. That was 13. As you can see, Las Vegas has joined the rest of the world in this fight for George Floyd and justice for George Floyd and his family, and not just for George Floyd, but for everyone else that experienced that kind of situations, from police brutality, government brutality, and all that type of stuff. People are being fed up and starting to strongly voice themselves nowadays. And today, right now, just strongly, as you can see, Vegas joining the brotherhood right now, connecting with other people out there who's feeling the same way. Of course, I'm from the city, and I do not want to see the city get destroyed. That's just my personal opinion. You know, people gonna lash out and do what they must to get their point across. I hope we can get through it together without destroying our city, without the need to do it. I mean, I like to keep the focus on the subject at hand and not go outside of what the subject is. The subject really is about what governing forces are doing not doing right now, and it has nothing to do with businesses around. When COVID-19 started, everybody started boarding up their businesses because they thought that this things was going to make people crazy and stuff like that. Well, these are other things that can threaten businesses like that. And just going to try to see if we can find more footage. There's definitely like personal footage right here. Let's see. Right here. There's definitely other sources to go to. Let's check out these other sources. All right, here. Is this live?
At the George Floyd protest that's happening right here near Container Park off of Fremont,
earlier.
6th and 7th Street. You can see some protesters here walking, showing their support, demanding justice in the death of George Floyd, a man who was killed by a Minneapolis police officer when he pressed his knee to his neck. You can see lots of protesters here continuing to march. This protest technically started at 7, but has been going on really until 6, with people bringing in their signs, chanting, and this has been a very peaceful protest. I would suggest lots of different people are here. In fact, I can see people up to around 8th Street, I would say, and they've continued to come in this trickle. You can see a lot of signs. Are you listening yet? Lots of different chants as well. People showing their support here against police brutality, saying they want justice.
Don't shoot!
Lots of people from lots of different backgrounds here to show their support. You can see many are wearing masks due to the coronavirus pandemic. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is the George Floyd protest here in downtown Las Vegas, night 3.
No peace! 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 No peace!
As you can clearly hear, they're in the back saying no justice, no peace. That right there, that statement, no justice, no peace, is a clear statement.
I think we might have to go.
It says what the minds of the people are thinking.
You guys know where this
A lot of people hoping for a peaceful protest.
All right, guys, if you're just joining us now, this is a live look at the George Floyd protest that is happening off of Fremont Street near 6th and 7th. Again, this has been a very peaceful protest. Lots of different people here from different backgrounds. As you can see, all of the signs. This is day 3 of protests here in Las Vegas. You can remember yesterday at the Strip was largely peaceful as well. Some protesters did clash with police. We heard there were around 80 different arrests. In Las Vegas Metro tells us around 12 police officers were injured after some protesters apparently threw some rocks. We tried to ask Metro officers today to clarify some of that, but unfortunately, during a press conference today, they left before we could ask them a few questions. But Las Vegas leaders today urging for peace, saying Las Vegas really has a reputation for being very peaceful, urging people that they can be angry. But do not, in one pastor's words, do not sin when you are angry. You can see a lot of people here carrying that into practice. Again, guys, this gives you an idea of just how large this crowd really is. We've seen this steady trickle here for at least 10 minutes. So lots of different people, again, from all different backgrounds, a lot of young people I'm seeing here. As for Metro officers, we have seen them trying to keep an eye on things. As of right now, though, everything is peaceful. for Jay here. Jay, do you want to go across the street, do you think? Okay, we're going to head over there, you guys. And yes, this is in Vegas. This is in Container Park near Fremont Street off of 6th and 7th.
Black Lives Matter!
Yes, this is in Vegas. This is in Container Park near Fremont Street.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
So we are crossing the street to get a different look here. Okay. You can see the police right over here. I don't know if you can see it through my phone. Pardon, sir?
That's what we're trying to figure out too.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
We
Yeah.
don't know yet. I've been asking a lot of people too. We don't know.
Yeah, some people are asking us where the march is headed. We're not exactly sure where that's happening quite yet. We can see a little bit of some police right over here. Let me give you a look over here. You can give an idea of just how many people are coming here. This has been a steady trickle of people at this level for about 10-15 minutes now. So we're talking about a lot of different people.
He just talking to us. He says he's from Chicago. He's just protesting there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so we're going to talk to someone now, you guys. No problem. Thank you for talking to us, sir. We really appreciate it. Alrighty. So can I start with your name and the correct way to spell it, please?
Protest marches. This one out here in Vegas, I would say it's a little mild. We don't have no real leadership. We don't have any direction right now. I'm trying to figure out where they're marching to. For instance, the Gavin Cato case, they call that a riot. It wasn't a riot. It was a peaceful demonstration. A 6-year-old boy, black young man, 6 years old, was ran over by a station wagon, driven by Hasidic Jews, and split his head. His little cousin, every bone in her body was broken.
So, sir, why are you here today? Let me ask you this.
I'm here because I'm tired of the really so-called peaceful demonstration. For centuries, for hundreds of years, this has been going on. You know, this is not just the first. I mean, like I said, in the Roman days, who killed Jesus and why? Jesus was a loving, peaceful person. Okay? The games of the gladiators, resolved death. The same thing is happening today. It's just a little modified. You know, and I'm tired of it. Myself, personally. I'd rather take the fight to the fight.
Well,
As I've done several times.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. I think they're heading over in this direction.
All right.
Yeah, as you can see, that footage ended. We're just going to try to see if we can get more on the story right now. I think this is where we at right now. So I'm following this and bringing you guys up to speed. Yeah, I mean, you can go directly to the source if you want to. Right. So this is happening now.
Side of police lines. You can hear police sirens in the background. I hear a helicopter up above. People revving engines and yelling in the distance. This is the streets of downtown Salt Lake City tonight. on 200 East, where what started out as a peaceful protest has turned violent. Protests began at 11 o'clock this morning. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall called for an 8 p.m. curfew. However, there are still hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters in the streets of downtown Salt Lake City right now. And this is just one area. I'm told there is another group of protesters just north of me at the intersection of, that would be 100 South and 200 East.
All right, so this is Salt Lake City. This is no longer Vegas.
You can see how these
All
protesters
happening, all
just
going
sprawl
down,
out
all around in the States.
on the lawn of the Salt Lake City County building. Somebody just threw, oh, pardon me, just dropped my phone. Somebody just threw this tennis ball that's rolling toward me and a stick that's right there in the street, threw it into the police line, which rolled over here. Police are on the move again. Police right now are moving on 200 East, moving north. Moving north on 200 East. You hear some bangs. We've seen some people light and throw firecrackers at the police line tonight. Don't know if that was firecrackers or some sort of flashbang or tear gas force the police are using. Look at this mass huddle right here of officers trying to push back protesters. It looks like there's a number of protesters perhaps on the ground right in the middle of that swarm of people, right in the center of your screen. Oh, we're having police move in, running behind me right now. That's part of the SWAT team that's here, the SWAT presence tonight. Again, these officers are on the move. They're trying to push these protesters further south, down 200 East. I'm going to keep my safe distance, but follow a little bit as well. You can see right here somebody on the ground being helped by police officers. Looks like more people on the ground right there. Looks like another protester getting under arrest is what you're seeing right now. Many of you may just have received a public safety notification on your phone. What might have sounded like an Amber Alert. That is a public safety warning about the 8 p.m. curfew. It's a protester who's been placed under arrest. More SWAT team members walking up 200 East, going to join the other officers, that police line, which has been formed. The police line has now crossed, let's see here, I'm trying to get my bearings. Okay, we're right in the middle of 400 and 500 South, right in the middle on 200 East. A couple of my teammates here with me now. Protesters carrying other protesters off. Yep. Look at this police line. The police line now completely across the entire street of 200 East, in between 400 and 500 South. Okay, somebody just threw a glass bottle at police. Police officer kicking glass out of the middle of the road. Comes another police armored vehicle our way. We're gonna get out of the way here. crowd's starting to get a little riled right now once again as police are on the move, pushing those protesters further north, down 200 East, now approaching 500 South. Anybody just joining, this is Kelly Chapman from Fox 13 News showing you what's happening in the streets of downtown Salt Lake City right now on 200 East between 400 and 500 South. So in between the Salt Lake City Public Library, which is right there, and as I pan around, this is the downtown, or the Salt Lake City County building, City and County building right here. And then right in front of me, a wall of hundreds of police officers, SWAT members as well, making a police line, continuing to push a group of hundreds, if not still possibly thousands of protesters, north down 200 East. I've seen a few police dogs with their handler out here this evening. Group of police officers standing right next to me, talking about the tactic on how to keep everyone safe tonight and how to disperse this crowd and get people to go home safely. More chanting in the background right now from protesters.
To your right, you can see from...
I can overhear these police officers next to me, talking about the tactics on how to continue to disperse the crowd. You see here in front of me on 200 East, as well as another crowd a little bit further north on the corner of 100 South and 200 East.
You can see the footage above me right here. That's Las Vegas. This Salt Lake City right here.
Anybody you see in the shot behind that police line is either a member of a police force or a member of the media. Everyone else is behind that police line. We've seen police officers heavily armed tonight. We've seen SWAT members in full armor here this evening. I have not seen anybody from the Utah National Guard, at least not in the area in which I've been.
Right now you're hearing the audio from the picture on your right. That's Las Vegas downtown right now.
Fuck 12! Pussies! Fuck the police! No justice! No peace! I see y'all, I see y'all, I see y'all.
I know.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Hang on. Travis.
Just gonna move over to your left.
Time to go. They're about to pull out the. Can't leave Pat though. Where's he at? He fucking walked over there. He's right there taking pictures.
All right, so that's Vegas, like I said, on the right side footage, and then so on the left we got Salt Lake City. That is
See
also.
some smoke there in the distance as well. It's hard to say how many people are still here. From my vantage point, I would say a couple hundred, whereas an hour ago there were a couple thousand.
Now you're hearing the audio from Salt Lake City.
That police line continuing to move once again.
You're listening to the audio on the video on the left. That's taking place in Salt Lake City. The video on the right is taking place in Las Vegas. Oh, seems like things are getting hot.
Something happened to me, homie. What am I fucking?
Oh, they moving.
I understand, but I can't move. You're pulling me.
So we can see what law enforcement, what they're going to do to continue to disperse this crowd. 200 East right now is littered in garbage, broken glass, sticks and wood. Throughout the afternoon into late evening, when that police line formed, a number of things continued to be thrown at police officers on that line.
Fuck's Pat.
I also saw a number of physical fights break out, even among protesters within their own groups, it seems like.
Well, now we're just back to the audio. Office slam, bum crumbs. Phone. Whoa. What happened? What happened? There you go again, once again with that battle cry.
Some fucking dude down. You see that shit? Yeah, you see it. Everyone started saying they were about to start shooting shit off. That's why I was like, that's why I grabbed her. Fucking go piss down there. I'll see if Pat fucking walks up. Yeah.
Yep, so on the left is a situation at Salt Lake City, and on the right is a situation downtown Las Vegas. You're hearing the audio that's on the right. You're hearing the audio from Las Vegas at this moment.
I didn't see him. He either passed by or he's fucking still back there. I'm not sure.
It's us two right now. It's all good though.
All right, I gotta hang this up. I gotta call fucking August back. I will start filming again in a second.
All right, so Slam just turned off his footage, so we're gonna have to search for other footage at this very moment if you want to keep up with what's going on in Las Vegas. Right here is another. Is this live? Also, right here we got 13.
They come down here because they too wanted to have their voices heard. We spoke with, or we heard from people earlier today who were at Metro headquarters. So a lot of
I can imagine there's a lot of bandwidth going on right now, so there'll be some service dropping in and out. All right, let's get the service going. Meantime, let me go check on Salt Lake. Now you're hearing the audio from the left, which is
Police
Salt
officer
Lake.
yelling over here. Walking up closer to that police
we
line.
will come back to you with more.
Maybe that video has ended.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
we can't get out. I do have a silver card. My daughter, that's a stupid idiot. Here she comes, right here. Yeah, they just let her. Yeah.
Okay, what you're seeing here is a police line which continues down and extends across 200 East right at 500 South. Pretty close to this police line now. Mark, how many
here and
protesters
just the
do you think are still out there? Can
protesters
you see?
much more spread out. We're seeing just the line there. A lot of police vehicles,
Okay.
of course, in several different intersections in the city.
Standing with one of my coworkers right now. He feels as if we have more police officers than protesters at this point. It is difficult to see, however, over this. Haley Higgins is here saying there's way more. So down 200 East, Haley?
I overheard, they said, hi, Haley Higgins here. I heard police mention that they're going to try to pivot and push the protesters off 2nd South onto, 2nd East onto 5th South to try and channel them. But I can see them down through the intersection.
Through the intersection, so that would be a whole city block.
Oh, definitely through the intersection.
Okay, pardon me, Mark.
So on your right, you got
All right, so
video
if it's
from
gonna
the
go
bird
from
in the sky in Salt Lake, and on the
a
left,
full
you got
city block.
the
We're
video
still
on the
talking about
ground.
potentially thousands of protesters here tonight.
Hundreds for sure, maybe thousands.
Downtown. I just am curious if you wouldn't mind just taking
Now
a look
you're hearing the
yourself
audio
at
from the
greater
coverage
Salt
in the
Lake
sky.
downtown traffic. Are people out? Are people in their cars? Or have most people just decided this is not a place I want to be and have left that area?
Yeah, taking a look around, I'm not seeing a lot of traffic out there. A lot of cars going through. It seems fairly calm, and we actually noticed that earlier, even about an hour or so ago. Not as many people, especially on Foothill Drive and several other streets. And so, yeah, I think that it seems people were avoiding that area around the library, maybe even up at the Capitol, and it still seems to be the case right now, where we're not seeing a whole lot of movement out there, just a whole lot of lights from police, from patrol cars, as you can see here as we pull out. So there are, of course, a lot of authorities out there, and not a whole lot of people going about their business. Now we're coming on just past 9:30.
Matt Rascone for us live right now in Chopper 5. We see, look at there they go, the officers moving forward again. Let's bring in maybe Matt Gephardt. I believe he may be right in the midst of that. Matt, what do you see from your perspective?
Here they come right Here they come right at us, Dan and Lori. Yeah, they are marching across the street. In fact, you can see our sheriff park there, really right in the midst of it. They've now marched all the way, so they've moved 1 block since this afternoon when they lit that police officer's car on fire. We are now past the Leonardo, past the City County building. We are that one-way street that heads southbound here at, that heads westbound here on the Cesar Chavez Boulevard, 500 South. Police officers, as you've been hearing reported, and as you can see through our KSL pictures, they are marching forward. They are marching on. And the few people who remain, and at this point, I would say they are easily outnumbered by police officers, at least 1.5 to 1, are continuing to be defiant, continuing to be in the face. But the police force is strong. We've seen many other jurisdictions arrive. So if you look to the right here, this is heading up 5th. So there's the police department, which you can see the cop cars surrounded earlier today, police cars surrounded earlier today. But these flashing lights that you can see in our face here, these are all Riverton police. So really, the entire Wasatch Front is here trying to keep these protesters at bay, trying to disperse this crowd. As you've heard reported, police officers yelling into a megahorn, or speaking into a megahorn, and it is being blared. This is an unlawful protest. You have been throwing rocks, you have been lighting cars on fire. This is an unlawful protest. We have seen some violence, a lot of things being thrown at police who've generally kept their cool. It's interesting, we've seen protester on protester violence. Somebody took one of those thin blue line flags, the American flag that's black and white with the blue stripe across the middle, and they stuck a pole, a street sign in the middle of one of the burned out cars, and they put it on top and lit it on fire. And then in the process of dragging, somebody came along, somebody didn't like that, and they pulled that thin blue line flag down that was on fire. And a whole bunch of protesters then began a melee onto this person. He had to ultimately be pulled. The police officers had to pull him behind the line. But that was a block ago. Here we are 2 hours later, 1 block further. So the police have this intersection now 100% surrounded, and it is shoulder to shoulder and 2 officers deep. It started as you could, they were social distancing, shall we say, between one another. Now they are shoulder to shoulder, and they are absolutely, look at just some of the things we're seeing on the back. We have police officers from University of Utah. Here's a DEA agent, Salt Lake City, West Jordan, Riverton, all standing here now showing this force trying to disperse this crowd. Cottonwood Heights police over here to the right. So the entire Wasatch Front is out here announcing this protest is unlawful, this city is in curfew, you need to go home. And
don't shoot! Don't shoot! Let's get on the sidewalk again. Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Shoot back! Shoot back! Shoot back! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Dora, I was watching for you. Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking undercovers. There's the Nazis down here. Yep, we saw another undercover. We already ran into one Nazi. There's people with MAGA shirts here too, but whatever. They don't scare me.
We will never know.
All right, right now you're looking for a video feed.
Peaceful protest, y'all. Just reminding y'all.
From Cat
This has
Rain.
been peaceful the whole fucking way.
Down in Las Vegas.
They're grabbing people. The police are up there? They're grabbing people up there? Police are nabbing people up at the front. What happened to hold them back?
All right, they're at Fremont Street, Fremont East.
Nazis right there.
I know you're watching crazy footage right now of what's going on. This is raw footage going on from Cat Rain And what is being reported down there is that there are people out there aside of the protesters that are trying to start more than what is supposed to be. They're out there trying to perform a peaceful protest, and you got Nazis and others kind of people that they're claiming to see. They're trying to catch them on camera and stuff, starting stuff. So we are all under the careful watch, everybody watching each other's back down there and trying to make sure that it stays peaceful. But as we know, aggression can light up real quick.
It's about to be a matter of my own safety here.
Like you can hear her saying about the Nazis and just people generally trying to start stuff that's not necessary. It's just they're trying to keep it peaceful.
They're over here, everyone's getting over. I see some MAGA people up front too, with the police.
Hey, Doc. Hey, man, how are you doing? Good.
There's the Trump people standing with the police at the front of the line. You see the MAGA girl up there? There's a big ass hat in front.
Yeah, they're going off. I'm trying to go home now. There's been peaceful all the way around. Only two.
Yeah.
One back top.
There was no violence this whole time, even on the whole walk too. Yeah, fuck this. No, they're blocking our right to walk. They're saying we're not allowed to go any further.
He runs Holy Smokes missionaries. He goes underground and helps the people that live under the tunnels.
What a cool guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Just want to show you guys the Trump people on the line. If you can see the MAGA hats standing with the cops. Yeah, the cops have the riot people out. The riot cops are in front of us. Yeah, riot cops are in the front. They're not letting us walk any further, even though it was a peaceful protest all the way up until this point. Take a knee, they're asking.
What? Hands up! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Hands up! Don't shoot!
Everyone is now kneeled in the front, and the cops are still armed and in their face. Just reiterating, we are peaceful.
Right. No beef! George Floyd!
Someone threw water.
For some people,
Riot cops not letting us go any further.
That
there
is
are Trump
not enough.
supporters standing up there with the police in solidarity.
and if they want to go further, they'll start to pursue by throwing things or whatever they got to do to move forward.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! People are leaving because they're not letting us go any further. Cops have grabbed a couple people already, according to other people that have stayed at the front for a minute. We got spirit workers in the crowd giving us some good energies. I smell the sage everywhere. Take a knee.
Just to let you know, if you're just checking
Take a
in
knee,
right
but I
now,
physically cannot do it.
this is Las Vegas Live, and this is a protest for George Floyd, for justice for George Floyd. The protest has came to a still. The police have barricaded parts of
We got press
downtown
coming
Las
up to the
Vegas
front.
and doesn't want them to progress anymore. Although it's a peaceful march, I think
I can't breathe.
the police are saying
I can't
the
breathe.
march is enough for the day, I guess.
I can't breathe.
They're obviously worried about buildings and structures and stuff. Things can happen. Things can pop off from these things, no matter how peaceful people say they're going to be. Things can pop off really quick. All it takes is someone to step on someone's shoe, the wrong thing.
See, Trumpers up at the front of the line.
Or like they say, the Nazis around the camp over there trying to cause things going. Yeah, the States is wild, I heard. I'm trying to look over here in Denver. I hear in Denver it was really bad, so I'm looking for the footage that was supposed to be going down in Denver. Let me see. All right. So this was earlier during the day. All right, where are you? Where are you? All right. And right now, Salt Lake still. Look at this. It's all from Salt Lake. Wow. Woo. Whose car is that? Is that a police cruiser? Yeah, it's got numbers on the back. When it's got numbers on the back, it's like a police cruiser stuff.
We do voter registration. We're a nonpartisan organization, and get people to the polls and go vote. So we need to do things like that and stop all of the violence.
Reflecting on what we've seen in Salt Lake City and across the nation today, Janetta Williams, Regional President for the NAACP. Thank you for your time tonight.
You're welcome.
Let's now go to Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher, who is in downtown Salt Lake City again, checking up with her. Lauren, how are things looking there? Police making progress on that line?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing is that, and hopefully you guys can hear me over the helicopter, but what they're doing is at one time they're kind of saying, oh, okay, go, and they're walking forward about half a block and then saying hold and then stopping for a while until they get their next push. So I'm going to show you what we're seeing here, the armored vehicle. We now have all the armored vehicles are kind of concentrated in this one area right now. This is the police line here. For the most part, everybody has been walking back. Every once in a while, we will see some smoke in the air. Not sure, what exactly that smoke is from. If that is something that's from, protesters or from police. But this is what the line is looking like right now. I'm sorry, I don't want to go for too much. But it's been pretty quiet right now. We have protesters that are moving back. They kind of start, at some points, will start yelling. But it hasn't been too much of an issue. And I'm going to get on some higher ground right now so that we can really see, hear what's going on. So you can see right now, we almost have, it almost seems like more police than protesters at this point. We've got the police kind of all amassed in this area. This is on 200 East. You can see there's some lights from the dealership, so this is pretty well lit up right here. I'm going to zoom in, and that's the protesters back there. Or sorry, not 500 East, 200 East, I think that's what I said. So 200 East, we are now past 500 South, in between 500 and 600 South, next to the Jaguar dealership. So we do have some protesters who are standing here, but for the most part, police every once in a while will
so you can
all
see
of
the
a sudden
line
start
again,
pushing
further.
forward. Walk a little while and then say hold, and then stand here and kind of hold that line. Sometimes smoke going into the air or other things. But, and then of course they are arresting. I've seen several protesters arrested, them carrying out of the crowd. But Right now, like I said, it almost seems like we're getting more police and protesters are, dispersing to some degree. Over this way, we do have some police, kind of standing here. And sorry, were you going to ask a question?
John shows you now.
Lauren, have any of those vehicles been impacted at any of those locations, the dealership next by?
No, I'm not seeing the vehicles impacted. I'm not, in fact, the police are kind of standing on the edge of the dealership. So at this point, protesters are pretty much just in the street. Some are